Hello, my name is Deborah Austin Coslow, and I live just outside Philadelphia, just across the river from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which is about 10 miles east of the city. Been living here for about 5 years now. My husband and I relocated back here for work, and so we currently are still here. But just wanted to give you a little insight on our story and um, help you understand how our idea and our products kind of have evolved and how they came about. So just about a little over a year ago, in December of 2010 actually, my husband suffered a stroke and was devastated, to say the least. You never ever expect the person you love or someone you know to ever have a stroke, because most of the time it comes clear out of nowhere when you're not expecting it. So it being in December, it was just before Christmas, so you can imagine what that would do to you as well, that you had to deal with that along with all the holidays. So needless to say, it was a normal day, normal Monday morning. We were home, and my husband had gotten up and decided that it was time to go to work. And I thought, well, it's unusual. It's really early in the morning, and it's not his regular routine. So I thought, well, something just does not seem right. It's off. And you realize that because you know this person. So I realized at that moment when I looked at him that he was suffering a stroke. I did recognize the signs, and that's when I rushed him to the hospital. And we spent some time in the hospital. And during that period of time, it was very scary. It was very frustrating. It was very traumatic, to say the least. So that's where we are, or that's where we started. And since then, he's made a miraculous recovery. And I say that because he shouldn't be here, according to the medical doctors, all the people that saw him in the hospital. He's very lucky. I'm very lucky. We both are. So that's our story. It's where our story starts. So I brought him home from the hospital, expecting to go through, probably the scariest time of our life. But we tried to make the best of it. I've always been a pretty positive person, so I wasn't going to let this get the best of me. I was going to conquer it. I was going to find a way to figure it out and deal with all the stuff that you have to deal with. So to make a long story short, I started searching on the internet. I started trying to find the answers. I wanted to find a quick way, a fast way, the best way to get a person recovered, because my husband was not one of those guys that just sat around. He's very high energy. He always has been. He's been a public speaker. He's been a trainer. He's been a seminar leader. We have done many workshops. He works in the utility industry, and so do I, and we have been passionate about that for many, many years, and we have given our time, our energy, and we have mentored many people, and we still continue to do that. But we are shifting our focus a little bit because the stroke kind of had us to go down a different path that we weren't expecting. So with that, I decided I needed to find a quick way to get the person back that I knew, and I knew that he was not happy with what had happened to him, because communication is everything, and whenever you can't do that anymore um, as well as you could, then it's very frustrating. So I knew I had to do it and had to figure out a way to get him there faster. So that's where kind of our idea and our products have evolved from. And one of the things that we have figured out is that nutrition and feeding the brain the most nutritious things that you possibly can get you there faster. Because managing the fatigue when a person has a stroke is one of the most important parts of it. It's the most frustrating part of it, is how do you keep that person awake? How do you keep them going? How do you help them keep that energy and keep that clarity and so forth? So through my research, I found a way to custom design a protein shake with fruits and vegetables and um, and this allowed him to have that time during the day. Um, Came up with a food plan, came up with different foods and combinations of foods that would give him the energy and the clarity that he needed so that he could recover, because that's the biggest problems is, yes, they need rest, and how do you, when they are awake, how do you maximize that time? And so that was our biggest thing. And so we came up with um, my own protein shake. I actually named it already, and I call it Awesome Brain Food, because it really truly is awesome brain food. It allowed him to stay awake and his brain to have clarity, and allowed it to start healing and to get there faster. Um, so it's still under design process right now. I have not designed a label. I'm actually working on that right now. So this is one of the products that kind of came out of our struggle and our story, and so we are still managing to try to put this out there, even though we still are going down this road. He is back at work now. Actually returned back to work in like 3 months after he had the stroke. Um, Most normal people probably would still be recovering after a year, but he managed to make it back to work. So through this and some other things, he has accomplished that. And one of the other things that his doctors encouraged him to do, or encouraged me to do, was to stimulate him as much as possible. And yes, he has written many articles and a lot of information in his field and a couple of books and so forth. But I said, you need to write about your stroke. You need to write about your feelings. You need to write about the things that happened to you and so forth. And let's put all this information together. And only you know what helped you the most. So he put that information down. So we're working on a book. We're in the middle of editing and still putting together some information on that. Also, a food plan kind of came out of it. What foods to eat, when to eat them, how much to eat, so forth. So all of this combined kind of gave us that one little sweet little package. And we hope that of all of the 800,000 people every year in this country alone that suffer a stroke can find a better way and a faster way to help them recover, because it's so important for them, it's so important for the family, it's so important for everybody involved to get that person back, or as close to the person back as you possibly can. Um, so that's our idea, and that's where we are right now. And I just want to thank you, Mike and Pam, for giving us the opportunity, and we hope to see you soon. And there it is. So thank you.